SNAP came to a legal crossroads because the legal analysis said that you could not use the contingency fund if the underlying fund was not flowing.
The Trump administration is administering only part of the SNAP program, while President Trump is having a gathering party at Mar-a-Lago.
People everywhere can see clearly who's fighting and voting here every day and delivering for them.
I want to continue debunking MAGA Mike Johnson as the government shutdown ties the record for longest shutdown ever held under Trump's first term. So if you can, take a moment, leave us a like on the video. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers. You guys help us out a ton, and let's hop right into the breakdown.
People everywhere can see clearly who's fighting and voting here every day and delivering for them. And I'll say this clearly to every hardworking American in any place who's missed a paycheck, anyone who has been made to suffer because the services, the health services you rely upon, or the food and nutrition supplement for your family, anyone who is hurting, you have a home in the Republican Party.
Insane statement to make, considering Republicans are quite literally the only party that wants to cut these programs that people rely on. What you're seeing right now is a small preview of what Republicans want to enact on a massive scale. Instead of food stamp delays for 40 million Americans, they want to end the program permanently for 40 million Americans. Instead of Medicare premium increases for millions, they want to get rid of it entirely. Medicaid too, so they can deal with higher costs and privatization, because the free market is the answer to everything, brother. Like, this isn't conjecture either. They just enacted the largest Medicaid cut in history, cut millions off of food stamps, and are talking about circling back for more so they can shove more rich guy tax cuts down our throat. But yeah, guys, if you rely on these programs, you have a home in the party that wants to destroy them. That makes sense.
You talk about the split screen between what the Democrats are doing and what the Republicans are doing. What about the split screen about the fact that the Trump administration is administering only part of the SNAP program, while President Trump is having a gathering party at Mar-a-Lago?
I reject the premise of the question. Let me talk about SNAP. Okay. By the way, the president had an annual Halloween theme party every year at Mar-a-Lago. That's what he went back to as obligatory tradition.
Except it's completely valid, right? Trump is building a $300 million ballroom that increased in price from where it was originally supposed to be $200 million. He's throwing expensive, costly, lavish parties, sending $40 billion to Argentina without congressional approval. He's able to make sure the military is paid, WIC is paid. But when 40 million Americans, veterans, children, the elderly, those working multiple jobs, the disabled, need their food stamps, he says, sorry, nothing I can do. And then he fights every step of the way to do nothing before being drugged kicking and screaming by two liberal Democratic judges to release half of the benefits, where Mike Johnson also knows all Democrats unanimously support legislation that would fund all SNAP benefits, and he's refusing to bring it to the floor to vote. But it's the Democrats' fault because they won't vote on the CR that Republicans refuse to negotiate.
The White House has bent over backwards, as we've recounted here every morning, to make sure that Americans' pain is mitigated as much as possible, reduced as much as possible. So we got the troops paid. They made creative solutions for that. The WIC funding for women, infants, and children. And SNAP came to a legal crossroads because the legal analysis said that you could not use the contingency fund if the underlying fund was not flowing. I've explained that into detail here multiple times. Two courts disagreed. So what did the president do? In good faith, showing again that he's willing to bend over backwards to help the American people when Democrats are not, he went to the court and said, fine, show me how to do it, because we don't see the path. And so the courts have ordered that. They filed a brief yesterday, or some response yesterday in the court, that they'll give as much as is there.
I love at this point, they know their base is so gullible and devoid of logic, dumb, frankly, that they can literally say the line for them is literally, well, the contingency fund for emergencies can't be used if an emergency causes the normal funds to run out or be unable to be used. Like, what would the contingency fund be used for then? What is the purpose of a contingency fund for emergencies if it can't be used during an emergency? It's the dumbest logic ever, but when MAGA's your base, I get it. Second, again, there's legislation supported by all Democrats in both the House and Senate to fund full SNAP benefits. We covered Mike Johnson himself saying that he won't bring it to the floor because it would relieve pressure off Chuck Schumer. So if they cared, like he's pretending here, about finding a way to do this, well, there's a real simple one. But then you'd have to swear in Adelite, you'd have the tie-breaking vote for the Epstein files, and that's the real reason they won't do any of this. Trump is the only person literally the only, well, Mike Johnson too, but MAGA, I guess, are the only party actively fighting to not release the full SNAP benefits. And they're the only party with the sole power to do so, Trump being the only person with the sole power to do so. And yet we're supposed to believe that he cares, that MAGA cares, even after 2 Democratic judges told him to do so, that it would be fine. Like, here's how you do it. He's only releasing half.